to my channel. We are going to be discussing some pros and cons and my feelings towards this Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Alright, I really enjoyed it, but there are a couple of things that you all should know before you guys go to watch it. So if you guys would like to hear my thoughts and my suggestions, please continue watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you do like the video, please make sure you click that like button. And if you want other notifications for any of my videos, make sure you click that bell. Got it? Let's roll. Alright, you guys. So first I want to go with the cons of the movie. I feel as if these are kind of easily touched on. This is a big one though. If you're going to watch the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie, I would totally suggest, before you go watch it, if you haven't already, watch season 1. In order to really feel, I think for certain parts, knowing these characters and having attachment to the characters is very necessary. I took my husband with me and he has never seen Jujutsu Kaisen in his life. And for him, it was kind of hard for him to connect with the characters. He tended to compare it to when he went to see Demon Slayer, because he didn't see season 1 of Demon Slayer either when we went to see the movie. And he said it was more, Demon Slayer kind of was more friendlier to first time watchers, while Jujutsu Kaisen, if you haven't watched the first season, a lot of things is probably going to go over your head or you're just not going to fully connect to. My husband also was talking about how Demon Slayer did a better job with first time watchers to then want to go back after watching the movie to then watch season 1, because that's exactly what he did. As soon as he left out of the movie theater, he was like, we're going to watch season 1 at home. When he left seeing Jujutsu Kaisen without having seen season 1, he didn't come home and be like, I want to see season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I would just suggest, if you guys haven't seen season 1 before you go to the movie theater, please do it. But that's actually a pro for us people who have seen season 1. It's like they don't really having to discuss, they don't really have to fully go into depth about certain characters, because a lot of things that that has built these relationships was done in season 1, so they really didn't have to nail it in as hard for when you saw the movie, and it was able to kind of flow. Another con is, I feel a lot of times it was kind of fast paced. If you kind of are waiting for a build up, a lot of times it was just fast. There are certain scenes that were just fast. I am not against that at all, period. But if you are kind of wanting that build up and then shit happens, then you might be a little bit disappointed watching it. But for me, again, since I watched season 1, you really didn't have to do that much fluff for me. Let's just get to the good stuff. And that's what they did. That's for sure what they did. Because as soon as you get into the movie theater, as soon as that movie starts, it's just like bam, and you're like, oh shit nuggets, this is going to be an interesting ride. I will also say that it could have been my fault for this part. I went to the movies Thursday, and maybe it was the theater that I chose. There's only one theater near me that was showing it, and they didn't have IMAX or anything like that, so I just went to the regular theater. The animation really was kind of lackluster, but again, that could have just been because of it not being an IMAX. I'm gonna be for real with y'all, and I know I should compare. When I went to see Demon Slayer, that animation was freaking crispy, and I didn't see that in IMAX either, but it still hit. But it could have been, again, at the theater. I will say also, the anime itself, animation is way better. If you go into a regular theater, is way better than the movie animation. So if you're looking for good animation, please make sure you see that mess in IMAX or another special ass theater, because when I went to see it in a regular theater, the animation didn't hit, and I did probably dock some points because of that. But again, I was kind of lenient a little bit about it, because that could have just been my fault, or the theater itself. Maybe they didn't have good machinery or whatever. All right, so I think that is basically it for my cons. Because again, it wasn't that many cons at all. It's just those are kind of like a big heavy con, but without that, it's pretty good for me. I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go into the pros, because the pros are plentiful. We have plentiful pros. All right. I love seeing everybody. They brought everybody in. They showed everybody that we met, basically from Tokyo and Kyoto, and I love that. Now, again, like I said, for us that have watched season 1, it was like so cool just to see everybody come together in this one movie. Okay. Seeing people that we saw last season and they joining forces here in some way, shape, or form was like, I was like in heaven. Seeing Gojo while he was a little bit younger, seeing Maki and them while they're a little bit younger, meeting the main character in this, which is Yuta, was definitely dope. And seeing where why the struggles that he was facing and then kind of like working through that together through the movie was bomb.com. But yeah, I love seeing Geto, because in the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, we just see him working with the bad guys, the bad curses or whatever. And then here we see him not so much working with the curses, but he had like a crew with him. And that's another good thing too, is like we meet new people who was kind of like backing him that we have not seen in season 1. So that was like meeting new people. We really didn't get that much of a background on them. We know like little details here and there of said characters, but it was good to see Geto in a different light. And for sure, seeing how him and Gojo interactions were. I think that was the most interesting of my experience, is seeing that relationship go down, hands down. All right, so we had Yuta, Okotsu Yuta, right? And then him trying to figure out how to use this power, this curse that he has on him. And then seeing how, in a sense, it's kind of like comparing Yuji a bit to like, I guess like you could say Okotsu is like the Yuji, right? In this movie, and seeing how he was like gelling with Maki, Inumaki, and Panda. All right, so we saw them 3 joining in with Yuta and creating this team. And I liked how they were themselves, but then they grew to welcome Yuta. That's probably the best way to say it without being spoilery. When the movie starts, the OST is amazing. I like the song choices, even in English. The song is in English, so it's not like you're trying to guess what they're saying, but it's a bomb OST, so that is another pro. But yes, definitely go see the movie if you have not seen it. And also, if you go to the movie, please wait to the after credits, okay? Don't just leave the theater once the music drops or whatever, okay? Don't do that. But definitely stay after the credits, because the one scene at the end literally shook me up. Like, the movie was good. The movie was definitely good, right? But again, it was fast paced. Things were happening, like, oh my gosh, trying to keep up or whatever. But that last bit, that after credit scene was just like, holy shit, like, what? So definitely, if you're gonna go watch the movie, stay after the credits, all right? It's gonna be a little time, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely well worth it to see that, all right? But yes, definitely go see the movie. Those are my only pros and cons of watching. I do think the pros supersedes the cons. I really had a great time, though, you know, those couple things that I mentioned about like the animation part, how fast paced it was, and hoping you guys will watch the first season before going into watching the movie. Those are my only cons. Everything else supersedes it. I don't know where I would place this in a rating. Like, if I was to actually rate this movie, like, without the end credit scene, I would say this is like a 7.5 without the end credit scene. But I think with the end credit scene, it definitely was like an 8.5. It did bump it up a whole point. 8.5, probably a 9. Because I think the end credit scene really, really had me like, what in the entire hell? That is crazy how a little snippet can really change how you feel about something, but it really did. So definitely that. But yes, you guys, I'm sorry if I talked your head up, and hopefully I'm probably going to cut some of the stuff out because I don't want to spoil it too much to where you might not want to go see it. But yeah, thank you all for listening to my thoughts and how my feelings are about the movie. And if you haven't, go watch it. But be sure to watch season 1 before you do. But thank you guys for sitting and listening to me ramble on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.